This is my Ring of Honor Hammerstein show thoughts from the Ring of Honor show that happened this past Saturday at the Hammerstein Ballroom. First thing I gotta say, this is just my thoughts of the show. This is not a review, and I'm not going to be giving any of these matches star ratings. Now, when the DVD comes out, I will do a review of it and give the star ratings out there and do a more detailed review at that point. The first matchup was Roderick Strong versus Eric Stevens versus Go Shiozaki for the FIP heavyweight title. This was a good match, but the one thing that I had a problem with this match was, which somewhat happened during the show a lot, which the match ran way too short and should have been given a whole lot more time. This match was only given about 7 or 8 minutes, but for the 7 or 8 minutes, they did do some good stuff. Good back and forth action from all three guys in this match. Saw at one point in the match, all three of them were exchanging chops in the middle of the ring. Eric Stevens and Roderick Strong worked great like they always do. A good overall match, a good match to start the show off with and definitely get the crowd into the show. The next match up was No Remorse Corps of Rocky Romero and Davey Richards versus El Generico and Kevin Steen. This was a good tag team match, and I thought this match did get the appropriate time. It went about 14 to 15 minutes. It started off a little slow at the beginning, but then started to pick up all at the middle and ended very good. Definitely, El Generico and Kevin Steen are mad over in New York, and definitely those are two. That's one tag team that definitely need to be future tag team champions in Ring of Honor at some point within this year, which hopefully it will happen very soon. Then the next matchup was the tag team scramble with the Sweet and Sour Incorporated of Chris Hero and Brent Albright versus the Vulture Squad of Jack Evans and Jigsaw versus Delirious and Pele Primo. This was just a typical scramble match. You saw a lot of high flying in this match from the Vulture Squad. One point in the match, you saw Jigsaw and Jack Evans both do a flip dive out to the floor, which was very good. Delirious did a lot of good stuff in here. And the one thing I gotta say is Pele is somewhat growing on me. I wasn't not a fan of him, but I will gotta say he's improving. And actually, you know, he has a good look to him now. He's kind of got a somewhat of a mix of Spanky and Paul London mixed with him, and he's starting to improve in the ring. So that's good to see. One of the Ring of Honor students is starting to actually be pretty good, and actually do not mind one of the students being on the shows, which is a shocker. But this was a good match. You saw at the end of this, Delirious and Pele Primo win with Delirious hitting the chemical imbalance. Good overall, good match, a decent to good match. Not probably the worst match of the night, though, I would say. The next matchup was Bryan Danielson versus Namichi Marufuji in a battle of Ring of Honor versus Pro Wrestling Noah / Final Battle 2005 rematch. This was a good match. I thought these two should have been given a little more time, but they did go over 20 minutes, and this is one of those matches that I feel is going to be better when it's released on DVD. I enjoyed it while I was at the show, but probably this is going to be one of those matches that work out better on DVD, translating to DVD than to the live crowd, because the crowd was somewhat into this match, but it was somewhat dead in some portions of this match. Then after that match, it was the intermission break. Then it came back at intermission. Daisy Hayes came out, and she had got on the mic and announced that Ring of Honor has broken its attendance record with the attendance of the Hammerstein show that night. Then after that, Delirious came out there, and this was basically the follow-up of Delirious trying to get Daisy Hayes to go out with him. He basically did something asking her for a date. One thing I gotta say, it's a little cheesy, this thing with Delirious and Daisy Hayes, but I gotta say, if anyone can pull off, you know, a comical thing like this and make it work good other than Colt Cabana, it's Delirious. So I know it could run out. I know it could possibly be good if they do it a good way and do it a very comical way. Then you saw Rhett Titus come out, and he tried to, you know, be like the muscular guy, trying to, you know, sway Daisy Hayes that way. So I don't know what this is going to lead to. Well, it was somewhat of a waste of a time to be on the show, but to follow up on Daisy Hayes and Delirious, they had to do something. Then up next was the Battle of the Brawlers between Necro Butcher and Takeshi Morishima. And God, I gotta say, I cannot believe how over Necro Butcher is in New York. I mean, I gotta say, probably me and my friend that was at the show, we were probably the only two that weren't fans of Necro Butcher and weren't cheering Necro Butcher during this match. It was kind of scary how over he is in New York. And with him being a part of the Age of the Fall, you know, Jimmy Jacobs, Tyler Black, they are actually, you know, somewhat booed most of the time. Tyler Black somewhat gets cheered, but overall, them two can generate heel heat. Necro Butcher seems like, I guess he's like one of those guys that is cheered in some places and booed in others, because definitely in New York he is cheered very heavily. And I've noticed this on DVDs, but it's even more of a shocker when you see it live. And this was a good match. You saw a lot of good brawling. They brawled outside the ring for a little bit. Very good spot to end the match. It was a little short. This was another match that should have went longer. It was maybe 9 to 10 minutes. I thought this should have been given a little more time, possibly a little over 15 minutes. But for the time they were given, it was still pretty good. But like most of this show, the matches ran way too short. The next up was the ROH World Tag Team title match between the Age of the Fall of Jimmy Jacobs and Tyler Black versus Austin Aries and Jay Briscoe. This was a good match. You saw a lot of good stuff between Jimmy Jacobs and Austin Aries. Jay Briscoe did a lot of good stuff in here. You saw a very, very sick table spot during this match. The match ends with Austin Aries helping Jay Briscoe hitting the Spike J Driller with Austin Aries helping him. And Austin Aries and Jay Briscoe keep a hold of the tag team titles. But during this match, Jay Briscoe was bleeding buckets of blood, and during the match, Jimmy Jacobs got the blood, put it over his hands, kind of like basically saying, you know, the blood's on my hands. And he, after the match, did something where the Age of the Fall attack Austin Aries, and that's the end of that part. But after this, I guess last night or early this Monday morning, it was announced that Jay Briscoe has decided to vacate the tag team titles. And don't know what this is going to run to. It's going to have a tournament coming up on the Ring of Honor show that's going to be in Hartford, Connecticut, coming on June 6th. And yeah, one other part of this match, which I kind of saw it coming, but it was still great to see, which was Mark Briscoe running out there and actually on a injured arm, he still was able to get up and hit the Doomsday device on him. So that was very good. A good overall tag team match, and a match I really enjoyed. Yeah, it got pretty much the time I thought it would, and was very good for very good, I thought. Then the main event was the ROH World Heavyweight Title match between Nigel McGuinness and Claudio Castagnoli. I really, really enjoyed this match. This will be the one match that, if any of you do purchase this DVD, this is the one match that you will love on this show. I really thought this match was very good. They worked very good with each other. You saw a lot of good stuff within this match. This is one of the matches that I can't wait for the DVD to come out, because I enjoyed it that much. Possibly it could be a match of the year contender. I would say probably, if I had to give it a star rating, even though this was just a live thing, and some of these matches might be better or might be worse on DVD, but from being there live, I really enjoyed this match and thought it was at least a little over a 4-star match, and I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Nigel generated a lot of heel heat here. Great in New York. Claudio was, for the most part, cheered. There were portions of Nigel chants. Seemed like just me and a few other people were actually there to, you know, cheer for Nigel. And, you know, Nigel is doing a great job of being a heel. I gotta say, you know, back when he first turned a heel back in February, a full heel at least, I didn't think this would work out great, but the promos he's been doing and the way he's been generating heel heat, he has been doing a great job as a heel, and definitely like to see him hold on to this title for a pretty good amount of time, possibly, you know, past the 1-year mark, which will be in October. This match was very good. You heard it was basically most of the crowd. I would say about 80 to 20% were probably Claudio to Nigel fans there. So Nigel basically pretty much got the John Cena treatment in here. but not to a full extent though. But really enjoyed this match. Overall, I would say I really enjoyed this show. The only problem I had with this match, like I said, was some of these matches ended way too short. Some of the matches, the endings weren't the greatest. They came out. Some of the match endings came out of nowhere, but still a very good match. And it's been announced that at the next show, which is going to be their second time in the Hammerstein Ballroom, which is on August 2nd, that they are going to be booking the Motor City Machine Guns, and they're going to be working the Hammerstein show and the night before on August 1st in Virginia. So definitely those are two shows to look out for, and definitely can't wait to see what the Motor City Machine Guns are going to do this time in Ring of Honor. Possibly, if Mark Briscoe's cleared at that point, possibly a Briscoes versus the Motor City Machine Guns, since now it's a 1-to-1 affair with